Okay, for all of you guys who watched the analysis videos I did of Travis and John and James on the snatch and wanted me to do the same thing on clean and jerk. Here's a clean and jerk. Here's a clean video of John. I'll do the jerk separately. First thing, if you look at his start position, a little bit different than the snatch. The back is not quite as vertical. The hips are actually slightly above the knees. Obviously, to grab the bar in the clean, you don't have to squat quite as far down. So the hips are going to be a little higher. But the knees are still out over the bar. The arms are still hanging beside the knee. You can see as we start, let's look at his bar path first. As we start, the bar goes back, a nice smooth arc. You notice it doesn't go back quite as sharply or as much as it does in the snatch. And then as he brings his hips through, the bar gets kicked out in front just a little bit. You see right here, he's already starting to go under. The bar is about a belt line right there. And he's already moving down under. The bar's still moving up. And there was the catch. So there's his bar path. It's very similar to the snatch, just not quite as much horizontal movement, more straight than the snatch. Now let's look at his back angle. And there's where he actually starts to bring the bar off the floor. You see that as he pulls the bar to the shin, or to about mid-shin, the back angle has changed dramatically, and his shoulders have went forward quite a bit. Shoulders started out a little bit behind the bar, and now they're definitely in front of the bar. As we go on up, you'll see that he holds basically the same back angle all the way through, just pushing with his legs, just like he does in a snatch, until he gets about knee height. Or right about around the knees there. His shoulders are well out in front of the bar. Probably not quite as far in front of the bar as the snatch, but they're still well out in front of the bar. And with the bar at the knees, now he starts to pull his back up. And it's kind of interesting because you see that his hips did not move. If you look at the point right at the bottom of his shirt there on his lower back, that's just going to stay in just about exactly the same place to here. And then his hips actually, as he rebends his knees, starts the knee rebend right here, and his hips actually move down slightly forward, but they move down more than they move forward. So he's repositioned himself by dropping the hips, bending the knees. Now his shoulders are pretty much directly on top of the bar, not really in front or behind. Knees are bent, and he extends his legs to do the second pull. That is the top of the pull right there. Now you see his head hang just for one frame and then start to go under. And you see him actually start to come forward as he goes under. Watch the way he pulls himself under. Top of the pull, started to shrug a little bit, and he's coming down. He's literally pulling himself with his arms back under the bar. He's quite behind the bar at the very top of the pull, right here, and then he pulls himself back forward and down to meet the bar. To right there. And you see he has jumped backwards a little bit. John's bar path always goes backwards. He jumps back a little bit more in the snatch, a little bit less in the clean. Overall, there's a lot more horizontal movement in the snatch and less in the clean. But the same basic bar path and the same basic back angle changes. The back angle goes more horizontal up to about mid-shin, stays the same to somewhere either at the knee or just above the knee. And then at that point, the pushing with the legs is done, and he transitions into pulling the shoulders and pulling the chest and shoulders up and back to readjust and get into the second pull position. So there you have it. Pretty good, pretty nice looking clean. John has cleaned 203 as a 94 kilo lifter. Did that with a front squat of only about 205 when he did it. His front squat's gone up now, but at that point he cleaned just about what he could front squat. So pretty dang efficient cleaner.